You are now listening to the NYYST podcast.
Welcome back. This is episode 189 of the NYYST podcast. I am your host, Christian. As always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And Stat Guy, Rye.
What up?
What's going on, fellas?
I like the neck gator, bro. It was a late, last minute decision.
Great gator.
Yeah, there might be Rona here, bro. So
It's the Garrett gator.
It's sometimes you need to make last minute decisions that make or break you. And this was this was a solid one by you.
Clint Frazier's rocking it, so I got to go with it too, right?
Clint Frazier's really fucking rocking it, man. If Clint Frazier can hit bombs with a mask on, you can wear a mask driving your car. Right? Isn't that like the thing? Isn't that what everyone says now?
We're recording Sunday afternoon. It's about 1:30. We're about 5.5 hours away from the Yankees taking on the Boston Red Sox again. It'll be J.A. Happ against God only knows who.
Who cares?
Because the Red Sox are awful. I mean, we'll get into that later on in the show. Recording this as like a pregame for Sunday Night Baseball, which is kind of our tradition when the Yankees are on Sunday nights. So we'll break down the 4 games they played since the last time we recorded, but obviously we got to start with more injury news.
Jesus
it's like you can't. It's like unavoidable at this point.
Wait, before we do this, I just want to say 2 things. One, obviously, get to fucking iTunes right now. 5-star rating and review, because you know what I'm sick of? Even as much as I love it, I love how many people reach out to us throughout the week and praise us. But you know what? Open up iTunes right now. Yeah. Open up Apple Podcasts. Leave that rating and review on there too. Thanks.
Yeah,
5 stars.
That'd be nice.
5 stars. Second thing I want to say, real quick, let's take over-unders. Sunday Night Baseball, Yankees versus Red Sox. One of their shit pitchers versus J. Happ, the shittiest of all Yankee pitchers. How long is this game going to go? Over-under 4 hours and 15 minutes.
I'm taking the under. I think it'll be over before 11 o'clock.
Really? That's tough.
I'm going over because the Yankees could make some pitching moves tonight if they want.
How many innings?
Games are actually averaging. The games are longer this season than they were last year. Although they had this 3-batter minimum rule, the game should be moving much quicker, but they're not this year.
Well, it's good. Maybe they'll get rid of it.
And with Happ pitching, and it's Boston versus New York, I'm going over.
Wow. Over 4:15.
Yeah,
That's
it's gonna
unmanageable.
Yeah, no, we're having a long game tonight, boys.
No, I'm taking the under on that.
Okay.
I think it'll be over by 11 o'clock.
Okay.
Faux show. 4 hours. 4 hours is enough.
Faux show.
Unfortunately, what's not enough is it's seemingly like the Yankees just keep wanting to, pour gasoline on the fire. That is their injuries. Aaron Judge is on the injury list, and now we found out right before we came on, which was kind of expected after watching the game Saturday night. DJ LeMahieu's on the injured list. LeMahieu told Boone yesterday that it felt similar to the same injury that he had when he was in Colorado in 2018, which sidelined him for about 3 weeks.
It's great.
Now, Stat Guy Rye doesn't seem to care because, A, he's coined the phrase glorified spring training, and his boyfriend, Tyler Wade, will most likely be taking DJ LeMahieu's spot in the lineup. So that should, definitely excite Stat Guy Rye.
T-Wade earning it, though. He really has been. He's been
effective when he's out there. He's contributing.
Remember when Tyler Wade was just an automatic out? He's not anymore.
I mean, he's hitting about 100 points higher than Jose Altuve is right now.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But before we break down DJ and his latest injury, because we formatted the show prior to the actual release that he was going on the IL, let's talk about Aaron Judge here. It was, Tuesday against the Braves that he hits a big home run. The Yankees are up, I believe it was 8-2. Did Atlanta score yet at this point? It was 8-3 when Judge came out of the game. And I'm gonna take this in 2 parts. One, Aaron Boone's handling of it, which I hate it. it's one of the first big strike marks against Aaron Boone in his tenure here in my book. I know we've been me specifically have been a big supporter of Aaron Boone since he's been here. You know, Booner for Boone. But I wasn't jiving with him in the way he handled Aaron Judge in the injury on Tuesday night. Because initially he came out and said, we kind of had leverage in the game. We wanted to get Judge off his feet. You're up by 5 runs in the 6th inning?
Yeah.
You can't sell that to anybody that pays any type of close attention to baseball.
It wasn't a 12-run lead, right? If that would be different. My Booner went down to a chub after his handling of this with Aaron Judge here.
Well, one of the reasons we've liked Boone, I think, has been his transparency with the fans and the way that he has sort of communicated. He doesn't kind of do what he did in this situation. At least that's the precedent he set. But here he kind of was. That wasn't the case, right?
Yeah.
Now Judge is on the IL.
I don't know. Hey, man, he's been acting super weird this year, Boone. It's like he got brain Rona or something. I don't know, man.
He got
it's
that brain Rona.
And please don't DM us. So you guys make fun of Corona. It's a joke.
No, it's just a joke.
It's just a joke.
Maybe it's the gator. Christian, you got to test it out. Wear the gator.
See if it cuts enough oxygen off where you
making bad decisions.
You have Rona of the brain.
I'm gonna do heroin.
You going David Hell?
Yeah, no, it definitely makes you make bad decisions. I don't know, man. I didn't get it. Like, and then the Twitter sleuths were out there like, oh look, he grimaced when he was rounding the bases. So
and then you're like, shut up, fucking idiots.
And then people caught that, and then after the game, Boone's like, well, he's kind of worn out from playing 4 games in 3 days on the turf in Tampa. Why did you play him all 4 games in Tampa in right field then?
Okay.
This is something the Yankees consistently do. They consistently rest guys. They consistently rest guys when they're playing in Tampa because of the turf. And Judge is out there 4 games in 3 days. So that goes against the book based on what they've done the last 2+ years. So I can't hear that, bro. Like, I can't sit there and have you tell me, oh, he's dealing with this shit because of the turf. Then why'd you play him? You always take the precautions, and this year you didn't take it. Why?
All right. Can I defend Boone just a little bit here? Maybe at this time he did feel like Judge was going to be fine. Judge felt like he was going to be fine, and that maybe his leg his lower body was just feeling a little drained from the turf. And then we want to fight that, he didn't rest him, and everyone gets rest, and why didn't he rest him on the turf? But if he did rest him on the turf, we'd be like, why the fuck are you sitting a red-hot Aaron Judge right now? So we can't have it both ways. Yes, everyone would have said it. Everyone would have said it.
When I say no one would have said that, I mean rational people that understand the game and the way that the Yankees operate business would have never said that.
All right. I agree. But what I'm saying is...
I don't count maniacs in when I say...
What I'm saying is Boone's trying to ride the hot hand, and I'm never going to fault him for that.
So DH him.
These guys, you can't... Now you're justifying Aaron Judge getting hurt just because he played on fucking turf for 4 days. You know what that does? That should just make you need a day off. Okay, a couple days off. They had a couple days off regardless this week. You are a Major League Baseball player. You're how old? 28, 29? You shouldn't be injured just from playing 4 days on turf. I'm sorry. That's not anyone's fault but Aaron Judge. There's no reason for this guy to be fucking injured right now, and it's frustrating.
I don't like the excuses that, that's the initial thing that he came out and said. Then why did you play him? This goes against everything that you do. Everything that you do.
And that just goes back to how Boone handled it. But at this point, I am frustrated with no one but Aaron Judge.
I'm not really. I don't know, man. It is what it is with him being injured again. But it kind of, and then Boone backtracked on it when they placed him on the IL, saying that it's more wear and tear than anything specifically in Tampa. What is he tired from?
Yeah. I mean, come on.
That
You've
just
had
made
how
it
many
sound
months
even
off?
worse.
You've had how many months off from this delayed season, and now you're hurt again. And it just goes back to the question of the last 2 years: Can you deem Aaron Judge injury prone? And the more this shit happens, the more I have to say yes. And it's frustrating.
then you can believe whoever you want to believe. The Yankees have not earned the benefit of the doubt in this perspective that they tell you something about injuries. You have an absolute right not to believe them with the way things have went down the last couple of years. But excuse me, Boone made it sound like if we were playing in October, Aaron Judge would be on the field, and that they're kind of taking it a little easy with him because maybe he might have missed 3 or 4 games.
Yeah,
but they just put him on the IL just to, hey, take it easy. Let's not make this worse. And as we said earlier, Stat Guy Rye likes to throw around the term glorified spring training, and the Yankees are kind of treating it like that with this injury because if we were playing 162, maybe Judge doesn't go on the IL. They let him sit for 4 or 5 days, and then they throw him back out there.
Yeah, but to your point, I mean, we saw this in actual spring training before everything got shut down, where you were told Aaron Judge was just taking a couple days off to not have live swings and whatever with what was hurting him back then, his shoulder again, his arm,
shoulder,
something,
the neck, I don't know.
Yeah, something. And it turned into he's not going to start the season on time. And so it just seems like this. It's almost like the players like, no, I'm good. They want to say they're good, and they let their manager go out there and whoever else and have a press conference say, no, they seem fine. We're just going to take this slow. We're being cautious here. And then it just each day they try and do more and more, and it just turns into, you know what? I think I'm hurt. And then it turns into all this. I mean, these players have to be if you want a manager to be as transparent as possible and talk to the fans, you yourself as a player need to be as transparent as possible too. I understand you want to go out there and play every game, but when they're not being transparent to their manager, how can he be transparent to us?
He knew, but come on, bro. He knew he wasn't taking him out of the game because of the score.
Well, that's wrong. I understand that.
What kind of horse shit is that? We all know better than that. We knew we were being lied to.
Right.
And I think that's fans have a right to be upset by that. Just be like, listen, we saw him grimace. We took a precaution, and we're going to see where we go. Not, no, we had some leverage in the game. 5 runs is not leverage in the 6th inning. It's not.
Well, it doesn't help. Yeah, it
it's
doesn't.
a nice lead. You should feel good about winning the game at that point, but you're not going to be pulling your guys. And then last night, what was it, 10-3? Sanchez comes out in the 8th, and you're like, that's a situation where you're like, okay, you're giving Gary a couple of innings, but immediately because of the way the Yankees handle things, you're like, oh, Gary's hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't help either that you have a fan base that wants to rip your fucking head off the second that you're injured or something. So I'm sure Boone's trying to be cautious of that too, and not give away too much if he doesn't have to. But yeah, it was just poor handling of it. I can't agree with that more.
I see. I'm ready to. Last week I said I'm ready. You want to call John Carl Stan injury prone? Go ahead. I'm not going to defend it. I'm still kind of hesitant with Judge because, these last couple injuries, maybe not the calf so much, but the guy cracked the rib diving for a ball. Does that make somebody injury prone?
Kind of. Because I think it has to do with just how big the guy is, and I think that does matter. It's not like a freak thing. I think these soft tissue
injuries like the calf and what Stan deals with all the time with the bicep and everything last year. I think that lends itself to be injury prone. But diving and making hard contact with the ground and cracking a rib, it's kind of a fluky thing. Breaking your hand, getting hit by a pitch.
That's a fluky thing. That's something that's out of your control. When you're that big and you're laying out for a ball like that, you're that big. That's why he broke. If that was Brett Gardner laying out that way, he's not breaking his rib.
Is Brett Gardner dead after falling into the wall yesterday at the end of the game?
No.
And what the fuck was that? Why is that part of the wall open like that? Did you see that?
What? It just like flew open, right?
Yeah, I never seen that before. I thought he had it, and then Gardy was like, duh. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like the two of the, the oblique. If you want to say he's injury prone because he pulled his oblique twice, okay, I'll give you that one. The calf, yeah, okay, I'll give you that one. But cracking a rib, I don't know. I'm not really going to go that far, obviously. And that's the thing that aggravated me the most about people calling Judge injury prone is all the time he missed in 2018 when he got hit by a pitch.
Yeah, that's different.
There's nothing you can do about that. Who's not going to miss time from that?
That's
Superman?
Different. But let me ask you this. If Aaron Judge is going back to rob a home run and he jumps at the wall and he hyperextends his arm, is that not something you're calling injury prone because he was jumping up and trying to reach for a ball? that was going to be a home run. It's the same thing for laying out for a ball.
Then tell him not to exert any effort out there.
then DH him. I mean,
When I was driving home just now, I heard somebody call the fan. That's a new. Aaron Judge has to play first base. You're worried about him not stretching properly, and that he's got issues with his lower legs, but you want him to play a position where he constantly has to be on the more movement with the legs and has to stretch, like a first baseman does. But I can't.
As a former first baseman, I'm very insulted by how everyone thinks the defensive positioning of a first baseman is just arbitrary. It's just like, oh, he sucks, throw him at first. It's not that easy.
Wow. I was going to say if Judge was too tall, so I looked this player up. Who do you think Richie Sexton, how tall do you think he was?
Oh, 6'8".
Did you see that?
Yeah, I was going to say 6'7", 6'8".
6'8". That's a tall dude. I didn't think you could be that tall and play first base.
Yeah, that's what you want at first base.
Yeah, but like what Christian said with the flexibility of that position, I mean, how many times you see Luke Voigt have to really stretch his body out?
Well, Christian thinks Luke Voigt sucks at first base and stretching, but
I mean, 6'8".
It's a different argument for a different day.
Richie Sexton's got to be the tallest first baseman ever.
He might be.
If you think Luke Voigt is a good defensive first baseman, then you don't know anything about baseball.
I think he is. Yeah, okay. I mean, come on. I think for what he brings to this team, he is more than okay at first base. I don't think
he's
your
borderline
your tweet the other day was that he was incompetent at first base. Literally, that's pretty much what you said. That's pretty much what you said, and he's far from that. I think he makes some really great plays over there that a lot of guys wouldn't make. Look at last night. Not every guy makes that play last night when he laid out. I think he does a great job over there.
Glove work, I'll give him. He's got better glove work than he does his handling of the bag.
Wait, hold on.
And the way he
was Richie Sexton an outfielder?
Why do you love Richie Sexton?
Because I'm looking it up and he's not listed as a first baseman, but I remember him as a first baseman.
I thought he played maybe a latter part of his career.
Yeah, that's a first baseman's glove though in his picture. Yeah, he was a first baseman.
I think when he played like 18 games for the Yankees.
Another 6'8" first baseman, Tony Clark.
Tony Clark was a big dude too.
6'8". They tied. They're the tallest at that position.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Yeah, now Tony Clark's ruined the sport by being a bad head of the union.
Yeah, I really think he sucks. He's egotistical, it seems like. Tony Clark.
Back to Yankee talk.
Sorry.
So, I like to run these polls from time to time to gauge the fan base. And, I like to run them at specific times because, there's great recency bias amongst this fan base, which is evident by something we'll talk about later on in the show. But this poll I put out when he landed on the IL, Judge, we gotta stay away from pronouns. I was told you gotta stay specific people's names. You can't call him. It's Judge.
Okay. I like that.
Given Judge's last IL stint, what do you want the Yankees to do with him? Sign him long term, let him walk when he becomes a free agent, or trade him. And we're gonna read a couple of fan responses first, but let's us three work through this.
Can you read it again verbatim?
So, Yankees fans, given Aaron Judge's latest IL stint, what do you want the team to do with him? Sign him long-term, let him walk when he becomes a free agent, trade him.
Okay. Do you want to start? Do you want to give your opinion first?
You can go, because I feel like you already warmed up in the bullpen on this one.
It's not that I'm warmed up in the bull. I never read your poll at all. I'm glad that you just
the way you were like, do you want to start? It's like you want.
No. I just think I don't even think it's a. I just can't imagine anyone thinking anything other than signing him long term. I can't.
I do have some numbers here that we could maybe break down you should really factor in before you even consider this. So you want me to throw some numbers out to you guys? I'm Stat Guy Rye.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna throw a certain number out, and you guys have to tell me what it represents. Okay.
I'm down.
2023.
2023 is when they have him under control until.
Yeah, that's his free agent.
2023 is when Aaron Judge becomes a free agent. So we have the rest of this season. We have all of next season, which should be 162 games, and another 162 games in 2022 to really evaluate. All
okay.
Right.
Wait, but he's still on the Yankees in 2023, right?
No, he's a free agent, I believe, in 2023. He's at 3 years of service time now. This year will be 1.
So 2022 is his last contracted year.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
here's the next set of numbers. 155, 112, 102.
Those are his games played.
Those are his games played in the years 2017 to 2019 in that order. So we have to evaluate now, are we going to get an Aaron Judge that plays 155 games, or are we going to get a 102 guy? So we still, again, this season and the next 2 years to really evaluate that. Now next, 52, 27, 27.
Home runs.
Amount of home runs.
That's the numbers of home runs he hit. So when he's healthy and playing 155, he has the potential to hit 52 home runs.
But even if he's not healthy and not playing 162 games, he's still hitting you almost 30.
All right, and now the last set I'll give. 422, 392, 381.
On base percentage.
That's his on base percentage from 2017 to 2019. So that's what he brings to the table. Like you said, Chris, even if he's not fully healthy and not contributing with that power, he's still getting on base at a ridiculous clip. He also struck out 208 times in 2017, 152 and 141 the next 2 years. When you strike out that much, but you complement it with a high on base percentage and those power numbers, it negates it. So, I mean, I think you need to factor in all of those, and really the answer to your poll for me is it's none of the above and more. We need to wait this out, let the guy play his contract. The question isn't are the Yankees going to pay Aaron Judge, giving him a long-term deal? It's are they going to do it before he's up for free agency? And I think now the answer, if he continues to show this, it's no. They're going to ride it out, have him go full service time, and then when the option has to present itself, that's when the answer will
Typical
will be
millennial can never give you the answer that you asked him for. He's got to give you something different.
Don't knock millennials. First of all, you're a millennial. And second of all,
I don't consider myself a millennial. I was born in 1983.
Millennials aren't the ones ruining everything in this world right now. It's actually
I just took your question. I did a little critical thinking.
It's actually, what is it, Gen Z? Who came after us millennials?
Yeah, Z, I think.
They're really the ones ruining everything.
All right, so to answer the poll, what the fans actually voted for, it was tied 12% for let him walk and trade him, and 76% said sign him long term.
Okay, so I think that's fair. And it just
I was really surprised, honestly, given that this was posted right after he went on the IL. Really surprised to see the fans vote overwhelmingly to keep the guy.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, recency bias runs deep in this fan base.
It runs deep anywhere. But
yeah,
I know we have a set thing here and we got to get to DJ and stuff, but I got to ask, how do you think this poll would have went if it was altered for Stanton on what they should do with him? Not in a sense of let him walk in his, free agency, but what they should do with him under this contract, keep him, try and dish him.
They would have said let him burn in hell.
Cut him.
But do you disagree with this?
Like
at this
cut him
point?
with a knife, not even like cut him off the team.
Cut him from the team, cut him with a knife, or let him ride out his contract. Cut with knife. No, seriously.
So Ryan,
I mean, where do you? I just want to. All right, you go, and then I want to ask that question.
All right, Ryan. In fairness to you, a few people did respond saying, "I think we need to see where this is when he hits free agency," which that should have been a fourth option, but it didn't really fit what I wanted to.
It's not polarizing.
What I really wanted to get out of the fan base. So I do understand your response, but Chris, are you under the impression the same thing as Ryan, and see where it is? Or are you going to take one of those three options? And
No, I'm not seeing where anything is, because I think for you to maximize your value as what you're going to value Aaron Judge at, you're going to do that before 2023, right? If you're going to wait out until 2023, then you're just opening the door to what more can I get? I think this is something that has to be made before 2023, a decision that has to be made before then. And so I'm not even thinking about it. I'm thinking as a business person at this point, if I'm the Yankees in their business office, I'm thinking now could be the best time to get give him the best contract possible, given that he hasn't stayed on the field as much as we'd like him to, but he's still effective when he is. And I think at that point, you're not waiting.
I think the Yankees should absolutely sign him long term, and I'm not even saying that they should wait until 2022 to do it. I think they should give him a contract at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that.
Buy out those last couple arbitration years and tack him on till what? You want to say till he's 35?
Sure.
He probably lost the ability to be a $30, $35 million a year player, but give Aaron Judge $27-28 million
Absolutely.
a year? Or do you really want to play the arbitration game?
No,
with him
you
and
can't.
And save yourself $10-12 million the next couple of years.
He doesn't want that. The Yankees don't want that. And I agree with you 100%.
Even if you're going to get 110 to 130 games out of Aaron Judge every year because he's going to have IL time, is he not too valuable to this team on the field and what he represents to it off the field to not play that game with him?
Absolutely. I agree. I agree
All right,
100%.
I don't think the Yankees are at the stage right now to be willing to offer him $27 million a year.
No, I think in the offseason you're going to see it, though. I really do.
I think it's going to come down to this injury right here. Is he going to come back from this and play the rest of the season, or is this going to linger for the rest of the year and he's out?
Could be.
Because if that's the case, if this is a lingerer,
you're a lingerer.
I am. But I'm not up for a contract soon, and I'm not. Look at the Yankees' recent history. They're not paying guys huge contracts. Obviously, Cole's a whole different level. But those middle of the line guys, your Patrick Corbin types, those guys that haven't totally.
Yeah,
Aaron
but we're
Judge,
talking homegrown superstar,
right?
now.
But
you're calling Aaron Judge a middle of the road guy.
He's not that. He's not 27 million like you guys are.
Oh, I
him.
disagree 100%.
Absolutely, he is, Ryan. I think that's undervalued.
He is when he's
on the open market.
When he's on the field, he is.
Well, that's
sure.
maybe why they can get him at a more team friendly price.
But are you willing to offer him that team friendly price?
Absolutely.
Because as Aaron Judge. Isn't that almost a slap in the face to Aaron Judge?
Not
if you're
really.
Giving him almost a Hicks
not
level.
When you're buying out his arbitration years. If you offered him that when he hit free agency, it might be.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're buying out his arbitration years, knowing that it's going to double, maybe triple what he would get,
building his value at that point.
He's making more. Yeah, it's exactly.
So my question to you guys, and I really want to get to DJ, but with Stanton back on the IL, it just seems inevitable at this point that he's just going to continuously go back every 15 games. What do you do now? Are you in the mindset yet with most of the other fans of this team throughout the years that he's been here now that they should just try and do anything they can to get rid of him?
No, because they didn't do that with Jacoby Ellsbury, and Stan's a 10 times better player than Jacoby Ellsbury.
Well, yeah, but I think Jacoby Ellsbury, they weren't gonna get. They didn't have the ability to get.
Where are they going to?
An injured Stanton is still way more valuable than a healthy Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah, for what? On that contract? Maybe he'll opt out at the end of the year, and he won't be our problem anymore.
Maybe, but
maybe
he'll
get
this
feelers
point,
that somebody will throw a ton of money at him.
At this point, he's just. It's beyond frustrating.
I'll tell you what. If he wants to opt out, the Yankees definitely shouldn't chase him like they did with A-Rod all those years ago.
Beyond frustrating.
And not to sound crass, but Hank's dead, so I don't see that happening anyway. So Hank was the one that kind of facilitated A-Rod coming back after he opted out. So.
Well, I don't know. And now this is the biggest blow, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? In fairness, we should read a few fan responses. We did ask for them, so you want to give the fans, and they were good with them. So let's start with Rebecca at Peace Now for Life. She's a good listener to the show. She says, "I'm still saying sign him long term. I love Judge and what he brings both offensively and defensively. These injuries are tough, but don't forget the one major injury was a broken wrist. That can happen to anyone." And I think people that are rationally thinking about the way Judge gets hurt, you have to keep that in mind. That, he got hit by
that was a
pitching
freak
swing.
thing. It was.
All the way 08, and this is an interesting comparison, and I wanted to get you guys' takes on this. At all the way 08,
Another
Judge is
good
special.
listener.
Mantle was hurt a lot, too. You sign a player like Judge.
Mantle was drunk a lot. And that facilitated the taping from head to toe every single game.
But he was hurt a lot.
But Mantle didn't play in Major League Baseball when the sport was making $9.9 billion a year. So it's a completely different.
To his point, though, would you have, if we were doing NYY Sports Talk back in 1961?
All right, if we're going there,
would you be fielding questions that we got to trade Mickey Mantle?
No. Yeah, you would have to because of the social media era. If we still had social media back then, but no, of course, and I think that is a good analogy there. in a sense of like, this is our guy. He's supposed to be our guy. And when he isn't hurt, he's friggin' unreal.
This is a glorious husband.
That's what he goes. Is that his at?
That's what he goes
At
that's what he goes
glorious
by now.
at glorious husband.
Yeah, he told me to drop that in again this week. Hopefully, things are going well for Ryan, because like we said last week,
We're hoping. We're hoping.
poke.
We're pushing for you.
I mean, with all these injuries, I mean, he says when arbitration is up, that's when the decision needs to be made. So Ryan thinking like Ryan here.
Yeah, double Ryan.
He
and
leads
Ryan.
the Yankees to the promised land and deliver. He said he leads the Yanks to the promised land and deliver back the brink truck up. I don't care about dollars. I care about championships. So.
Yeah, but
He's
you might
saying-
get a championship before that.
I wasn't comparing Judge to Patrick Corbin, too, by the way.
I know.
Let's
All right,
get
let's
that
read
out of
one
the
more
way.
Here, let's get a good one.
One more.
Here we go. The God Pigeon.
At the God Pigeon?
Actually, it's at
Or is
Donald
it-
R. Miller 7, but the God Pigeon is
His name.
his name.
Okay.
Signed long term as he has always been a Yankee from minors to his debut and beyond. Imagine, and this is another Mantle comparison too. Imagine the fans if they traded him or let him walk. Mantle was hurt a lot too and stayed with the Yankees. They never traded him away, or they would have never traded him away.
I'll run with that. I'll run with that in a sense of, I'm not comparing Aaron Judge to Mickey Mantle, but I mean, in a sense of he's our guy and he's a true Yankee through and through.
All right,
Yeah,
but let's
you can't give
look
up
at
on him.
this. Let's look at this from the years 1952, and we'll go to 1959. This is the games played for Mickey Mantle: 142, 127, 146, 147, 150, 144, 150, 144, 153, 153. So this was a guy, towards the end now, the last 10 years, 123, 65, 143, 122, 108, 144, 144 in his final year.
Yeah, but
so I mean, what was he really? I mean, Judge missed what? He played 102 games last year, so I mean, the jury's still out on Judge.
yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what kind
he
of
played a lot of games.
here's an argument that goes against your point of a $9.9 billion industry, is that Mickey Mantle wasn't making the kind of money Aaron Judge is. So the value placed on these players, even feeling a little bit of pain, they're looking at what the outcome could be, and that they don't want a multi-million-dollar value of a player going out there and
sure.
risking ruining the rest of his career.
Yeah, but we're not taking that into consideration here with this. We're leaving
Yeah,
money off the
no, I
table, and
agree.
at the end of the day, Mickey
Yeah.
Mantle,
He still
hurt
played
or not
yeah.
hurt, he played.
But when you bring
But
it into play because you
absolutely.
have to,
All right, yeah.
if you're talking about a guy who's worth $27 million, you got to protect that asset as
Yeah.
well.
And Mickey Mantle wouldn't have been playing as many games
Right.
as he
Yeah.
did if it was
Yeah,
that
things were a
industry
lot
then.
different in regards to that back then. These guys they didn't have the medical imaging that we have now too, where they pick up every single little
Right.
thing.
Mickey Mantle's fucking ankle could have been hanging by a thread, and he'd been like, "Tape it up. I'll have a few beers, and I'll get out there and I'll play."
Well,
I
we
mean,
all
that was
saw
it.
61 where he basically got gangrene of the hip and he wound up in the hospital.
Mickey Mantle, for Christ's sake!
What's that
He tried to play
Fuck
through
is that
shit.
supposed to mean?
He tried to play through that too.
I mean, you can make all the comparisons in the world, but we can never truly compare when it comes to being on the field, because we all know it's not their decision. I mean, if it was left completely up to the players, I fully believe that Aaron Judge's arm could be hanging by a thread or his calf could be ripped in half, and he would still tell you he wants to go out there and play.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, we I got another guy on the IL now. It's DJ LeMahieu with a left thumb sprain. Like we said earlier, he told Boone that it felt like when he injured his thumb in 2018, which left him sidelined for about 17 days. So, I mean, we might be looking at 3 weeks without LeMahieu. Ryan no longer needs Blue Chew because Tyler Wade will probably be playing every day.
Yeah, I canceled my subscription. I'm good until he's back.
Obviously, a huge blow. People are saying that this is a bigger blow than losing Judge. I would say it's probably on the same level. I wouldn't say it's a bigger blow because people have their thing. Oh, DJ doesn't strike out. Judge strikes out too much.
they love it. They love the strikeout.
But I mean, DJ and Glaber were like the two Iron Men last year, and now DJ's hurt. So, I mean, it sucks in that regard. DJ LeMahieu wakes up and gets 2 hits before he even gets out of bed. So, he was a really good leadoff hitter. Maybe not a prototypical leadoff hitter based on, what you would, if you drew up a leadoff hitter from scratch, what he would look like. But DJ did a fantastic job in that role. He was hitting like 420 or something in that area. He leads the major leagues in multi-hit games since he's been a Yankee. I mean, the accolades go on and on and on. He was a top 5 MVP candidate. If Jose Altuve doesn't get a buzz when he's facing Aroldis Chapman, that's one of the biggest home runs in Yankee history in the ALCS last year. So, I mean, what else do you want to say about DJ LeMahieu? It sucks. But here we are, and every time DJ gets a hit, social media gets flooded with, the Yankees have to re-sign him. And it's R-E-sign, not re-sign, because that's resign. That's a completely different word, if you're advocating for DJ to be here, it's not what you want.
You don't want them to resign DJ LeMahieu. Can I ask you a quick sidebar question on DJ LeMahieu? Do you think the Yankees are handling him wrong by having him as a table setter and not someone a little lower in the lineup to bring guys in?
No, I think he fits in this lineup perfectly.
Okay.
The way I was raised watching baseball and learned baseball, he's actually a number 2 hitter.
I agree.
But in this era of baseball, he's not. Aaron Judge is the number 2 hitter.
Yeah, because the analytics show the number 2 guy's your best hitter now, somehow, not the number 3.
I'm not saying he's Derek Jeter. I'm not saying that at all, because Derek Jeter is a Hall of Famer. DJ LeMahieu's not going to the Hall of Fame as much as we love DJ. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's not going to wind up in the top 10 on the career hit list. But doesn't his approach at the plate and the way he swings and all that encompassed, doesn't that remind you of Derek Jeter?
Because they were both just true pure hitters. Right?
And wasn't Jeter at his best when he was in the number 2 spot?
Yeah, always.
He just reminds me of the 90s Yankees. He does. He would have slid right into that lineup.
Yeah, he does. Now, I just here's my argument though.
That's why go ahead, Chris.
If he wasn't a table setter and they did use him as a guy to come up maybe 3rd and bring some runs in, could he become a Hall of Fame player if he continued this through the rest of his career? I mean, you're going to argue that he's not a Hall of Fame player, but he doesn't have much to really ride on other than getting on base at this point.
I don't. What do you want to say? That if he was a number 3 hitter, now he'd be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I'm just saying with the amount of hits that he has and the clutch performances that he gives, I mean, if he had more of an opportunity to drive in runs, you might be looking at him in a completely different light. And that's crazy to think of because out of all the guys on this team right now, I mean, I can easily say DJ LeMahieu is your best offensive player as far as just a pure hitter. And it's not even a question. So I don't know about that. So I don't think that's
who's the guy you want up in the hot
it's
situation?
DJ. And I don't think saying he's not a Hall of Fame player is a knock on him. That's all I'm trying to get at. If you played him in the right spot.
He's not even going to get 3,000 hits, bro. He's at 10, what was he at? Like around 1,200 for his career? Yeah, 1,253.
Yeah, how many years has he been playing? He's 10 years in already? Wow. Yeah.
He's a really good player, and he's
Great player.
Probably above what he profiled at since he
You think he broke through his ceiling? He broke through what we thought his ceiling was. Absolutely.
Does this injury change your mind about the Yankees extending him?
No.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I wanted to ask, does this affect his salary for free agency?
No, not at all.
Brian thinks he's going to get like $8 million on the open market.
No, he's going to get paid. I'm asking if you think that this will if this is a serious injury, does this cost him a lot of money? Because he was in line to make a lot of money.
Well, here's one thing I'll say, and I'm gonna preface it by saying there's been a lot of things I've argued with Ryan on, and he's been right about, and I got to give you credit. You've been, even on some of your craziest takes, you've been right. A lot of times. If you go back in this show, you are right about a lot of things.
Thank you.
The one thing I will, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I can never agree with, is that you have this notion that the Yankees are not going to pay DJ LeMahieu and he's going to walk. And I just couldn't disagree more. Again, I'm not saying you're not going to be right. But as of right now, I couldn't disagree with you more. Because I think the Yankees are going to give this guy whatever they feel it takes, injury or not, to be part of this team. And on top of that, one last thing I'll say is, kind of like Garrett Cole, this guy loves being a Yankee. You can see it through and through. I know he doesn't show much emotion, but DJ LeMahieu fits in here, and he loves helping this team win. I don't see any scenario playing out where DJ LeMahieu isn't re-signed by the New York Yankees.
The only way that he doesn't get re-signed in my mind is if him and his agent get fucking crazy and start asking for like $30 million a year.
Well, the rumor is he wants $26 million.
No, that's his number.
That's his number, right?
That's the rumor of.
I mean,
what
that's
he wants
a
to make
little
per year.
excessive.
Is that sources? Is sources saying that?
Look, what I'm saying is that if that is the number that his camp is throwing out there, teams are going to pay him, and I don't know if the Yankees are going to take the Garrett Cole route and just completely
blow it out.
Yeah, and blow it out of the water where it's not even a question. You're not going to the Angels, Garrett.
No, I don't think they're going to. No, I don't. I am in agreement there that I don't think the Yankees will throw a blank check at DJ LeMahieu. I think they have a number set in stone, but I also don't think it's a small number.
Okay, no, and neither do I. But see, I think that we look at the track, look at how hard it is for guys to make a name for themselves in New York, and this guy has done it so under the radar. We have never seen a player come in and just become a Yankee overnight the way DJ LeMahieu did, right? Like this doesn't happen.
Yes.
So you take that into consideration, and you say as another team in free agency, man, this guy is the guy. This is the guy that could turn our franchise around, and we're going to pay him a ridiculous amount of money, and the Yankees aren't going to be able to compete with what we're going to offer.
Yeah, well,
him.
that's foolhardy if they think that DJ LeMahieu is going to come in and turn their franchise around, because he's not that type of player. He's fitting in perfectly.
He's fitting in with this lineup.
And to what the Yankees do perfectly.
I mean, I think you're taking my words the wrong.
Talent, like if you were bringing in Mike Trout, where you could say, oh, this guy's definitely going to change our fortunes around. If DJ's not in the right lineup, I don't know if he's going to have the same impact on on another team.
But I think
that's not a knock on him either.
I don't think you're knocking him. But I think the precedent that he is setting, doing what he's doing for the New York Yankees, is going to be used as mark
leverage
for his contract, and someone out there is going to overpay this guy because of it.
Okay.
And it's not going to be the New York Yankees.
All right.
I'm telling you.
Let me ask you this, because Christian.
But hold on. Let me just say this. If this injury is serious and his numbers go down, then I'm totally taking away this argument. I'm talking about a peak DJ LeMahieu heading into free agency.
Right. I don't think it's that serious. Unless
I don't
hear
either,
differently from the Yankees. I don't think it's that serious.
Yeah. Then.
So let me ask you this. Christian just touched on this, and I wanted to ask it before he even did. You go into these types of things with a set number in your head, and Christian said they have a number in their head. What is that number in your opinion?
He's going to enter in his 2021 is going to be his age 32 season and start the negotiation at 3 for 65.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say they'll offer him.
And I think that's more than
3
fair.
for 60, but I think he'll end up with at least 3 for 75.
That's crazy.
I know, but I'm saying, dude, this is the kind of guy that for 3 years, we're not talking 10 years, we're talking 3 years. I want DJ LeMahieu on my team.
Does he love being a Yankee enough where 360 or 365 gets it done without him having to hear anything else?
No.
I think so. You're paying him over,
dude. I love
over
the
20
Yankees too,
$20
man.
million.
But I'm taking $20 more million.
When these guys get that close to free agency, then they're going to want to hear what else is out there. If the Yankees had put that in front of him in February, I think he signs it without even thinking twice about it.
Yeah, before he's hitting 430 on the year this year.
Is it legal to negotiate something mid-season right now?
Yeah,
it is.
For your
right?
own player, yes.
Is there a cutoff date on that? Mid-season?
If there was, who the hell knows this year?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this. This guy, DJ LeMahieu, is going to get a contract. And I don't think the Yankees are going to take the Garrett Cole method and give him more than what they're willing to give. It's going to be more like a Patrick Corbs.
I agree with that, but if I had to bet where he's playing in 2021, second base for the Yankees.
Yeah, so I guess
I think it's going to be second base for the Chicago Cubs.
I can agree with you on your take, but I will say I think the Yankees offer him enough where he doesn't have to hear anything else. I do.
I hope so. And you're right. He is the kind of player that maybe it does seem like that could play into it. But man, if I hit free agency and the rumors are buzzing, and I come and say, you got to factor in the rest of this season, because look at what Steven Strasburg was able to do. If he didn't have the postseason he had last year, he's not making the money he's making now.
Sure.
So we got to go back to a healthy DJ. If he comes out and the Yankees win a World Series and he's a major part of it, this guy is going to make a shit ton of money.
All I'm saying is that is $10 or $15 million worth playing on a mediocre team where nobody's ever going to hear of you again, where you've become a star now.
Yeah, Robbie Cano.
Don't you know?
It happens.
Should have taken the Yankees
Manny
money.
Machado.
You want to compare numbers. Look at what Gio Urshela has done.
Yeah, crazy, man.
Unreal.
Wild.
For $25,000, the Yankees, and credit Brian Hoke for this. The Yankees could have bought a used Hyundai Sonata for the amount that they paid the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, it's great.
For Gio Urshela.
I'm excited to get to this next bullet point I have here. I don't know if you're ready to get to it yet.
I laughed at that. I didn't notice it until
I put on if you're watching the video on YouTube, and if you liked watching the videos for podcasts, we are on YouTube at NYY Sports Talk. My next bullet point here is we hate John Smoltz, and I just put that because I know we all do, but Christian specifically needed to get to something, and so I put it on this show.
All right, first of all, John Smoltz, what Fox executive heard him audition and said, "Oh, he's good, let's hire him"? Because you are a moron.
Moron. He's the worst. He is by far. Do you think he just got hired on credential?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like he had to. You know how some actors just get the job? They don't have to like audition for the role. Do you think that was what happened here?
He's a Jason Witten of Monday Night Football. Remember how terrible he was announcing?
Awful.
But he's a great tight end.
Yeah, but at least maybe I didn't pick up on it, but it was not like Jason Witten went out of his way to rip the Giants or the Eagles.
No, Jason Witten would he would paint
Jason
like
Witten was so bad,
a theatrical
he quit
portrait
and went back to football.
Yeah, he was like, yeah. It made him realize how good
easier.
of a tight end he still could be.
This is John Smoltz last night when Nate Eovaldi came out of the game. They showed his stat line, and he goes, well, he didn't pitch as bad as his stat line said. Dude, he gave up 3 home runs and allowed 8 runs.
Yeah,
how did he not pitch as bad as his stat line said? He was terrible.
Awful.
It was because of his pitch count. He was at like 48 pitches through 5 innings. Great job.
How are you going to try to portray him as being anything but bad last night?
That's like saying Jay Happ didn't pitch too bad his last couple outings because he only threw 30 pitches but gave up 8 runs.
He was out of the game.
I don't know if you guys caught this last night, but I was talking to somebody about this just earlier today on Twitter when he was driving that car down this street where he was trying to make it seem like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton being out of the lineup was a good thing because they strike out too much. That the Yankees were better off with like Tyler Wade and Tyro Estrada being out there because they are more contact-oriented hitters.
This is not a knock on Luke Voit by any means, because you know what kind of a fan I am of him. But we have Luke Voit hitting second, which we just said is your best hitter. We have Luke Voit hitting second in a lineup where you're supposed to have Judge, LeMahieu, or Stanton. And now you don't have any of those guys. So there's no way you can justify making that point or even trying to connect the dots on that point.
It pains him so much to have to offer a compliment to the New York Yankees, and anytime he does, wait for it, count to 3, and it'll come out of his mouth. Then comes the backhanded part of it.
Yes.
Well, the Yankees are the best team in Major League Baseball. I don't think there's any disputing that. 1, 2, 3. But come October, they're probably going to be an easy out because they strike out too much.
Yeah. He's a scumbag. He's a resentful, a resentful piece of shit.
Just come out and say it. I would respect him a lot more if he just came out and said it, because we all know the reason why. His Braves lost 8 straight World Series games to the New York Yankees, right?
Right. 8.
And what team ended his career in 2009 when they roughed him up in Yankee Stadium and then he got designated for assignment?
I'm going to say the Yankees.
Yeah, he was with Boston there, right?
Yes. So just come out and say it.
Okay.
Just come out and say it. If you came out and said, I hate the Yankees. They beat my Braves 8 straight times in the World Series. They ended my career when they kicked my ass in '09. I hate them because of that. I would you say, you know what? I could respect that. At least you're being honest.
Do you know what really kills him the most though? That
it's all that salt intake he has.
In '96, they really had no right beating the Braves. They had no right.
You're right. The Braves had no right losing that World Series.
And they came out and dominated 2 games, and it was like, this is going to be in the bag before you could even enjoy the series. And the Yankees fucking came back, and then on top of that, the icing on the cake was the sweep of '99, and then like you said, 2009. That was it. I mean, they made him what he is, a fucking broadcaster,
a resentful old man.
Yeah. So that's it.
I can see John Smoltz sitting on his lawn when he sees a kid wearing a Yankee jersey walking past his house. You get off my street now! And then you'll see the meme of old man yells at cloud.
Yeah, national news story.
I can't deal with him anymore. People say what broadcast is worse, ESPN or Fox? I think Fox does a better presentation, but John Smoltz he ruins it.
I gotta say, the marker for me of analyzing like an analyzer, a broadcaster, is if you're sitting there watching the game and going, "Oh, I wish Joe Buck would be the only one speaking right now," you know that you hired the wrong guy.
And who's that guy? Joe? What's his name? Joe Davis.
That sounds just like Joe Buck. Yeah.
He's not bad. He's good at his job. I would give him praise in that regard. But it's just like, is he sitting there saying, "John, just shut the fuck up"?
He has to be.
All right.
It's ESPN tonight, right?
Yeah.
They got to lower Vasgersian's mic a little bit tonight.
Sliders. So
he
screams in the players.
Sliders.
You know, when Hap gives up 5 home runs tonight, 3 of them on A-Rod's going to go, well, he mislocated three sliders tonight.
Someone texted me, my buddy Gibbs texted me the other day, and he goes, I never realized how A-Rod speaks until you brought it up on the show. Sliders. He's like, now I can't hear anything else. Players.
So the Yankees came home, unless you guys want to rip Smoltz some more.
Nah, we're good. Fuck you, Smoltz. Smoltzies.
I think that's a good way to end that segment. So the Yankees came home Tuesday after a day off Monday. They take 2 from the Braves. It's like they wash away everything when they come home.
It's true.
And people are trying to say, you know what, home field doesn't mean anything without the fans, but watch the Yankees at home versus the Yankees on the road.
Just different swag, man.
You're right.
They just get it.
The Yankees right now are 14-6, and they're 8-0 at Yankee Stadium.
No, they have. I'm showing 1 loss for some reason. When I look on like ESPN, I thought they were undefeated at home too. But if you look on the standings, you want to know why they lost? Did they lose that Phillies game?
Yeah, they were considered the home team.
So that was a home team,
game.
But they haven't lost at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
So that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Okay, got it now.
Yes, the game they lost, they were considered the home team in Philly, but they have not lost at Yankee Stadium. They're 8-0 at Yankee Stadium this year, which is ridiculous. And we've seen it even last year. They were a much better team at home than they are on the road, and even without the fans, this team needs home field advantage.
Yeah, for sure.
They're built to play in that ballpark. So, Tuesday they beat the Braves. That was Jordan Montgomery pitched well. He ran out of gas a little bit in the 6th, but he gave the Yankees a representative start. I don't think we have anything to complain about with that. That was the last time we saw Aaron Judge play. Then we move on to Wednesday here. That was who started that game? Loizaga is listed as the winner. Did they go strict bullpen in that game?
I think they did.
King started that, right?
Oh, yeah, King started, yeah.
No, I'm thinking of a different game.
Yeah, you're thinking of the weekend game last weekend against Tampa.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now.
No, that was Tanaka. Tanaka gave up 2 runs over 4 innings. Again, he looked decent. He's just not getting deep in the games right now.
1 pitch. He made 1 bad pitch.
So are you guys at a point right now where you feel confident with Masahiro Tanaka?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
He hasn't shown anything else.
I actually think Masahiro Tanaka, outside of being stretched out to go go the distance here, this is the best he's looked in a regular season in a long time. I think he's confident on the mound. He has a good rhythm, and I'm more than confident with him out there for sure.
But what is he playing? Is he feel like he's playing for a contract right now?
Maybe. Hey, maybe. I'm going to credit Matt Blake here with him. I said it last week. I'll say it again. I think if one guy is going to really benefit from Matt Blake this year, it seems to be Tanaka. I think Tanaka looks like a completely different pitcher.
See, him maybe playing for that contract is him using that same intensity that he always uses in the postseason, but he maybe is applying a bit of
Maybe
that
he's honing it in a little
mentality to the regular season a little bit more. But you're going to get this out of Tanaka in the postseason. I'm done. You can't doubt him anymore in the postseason.
No.
Yankees outscoring their opponent the last 4 games 36-17. That's a nice.
So if you had to make a bet of where Masahiro Tanaka is playing in 2021, where would you say that he is?
I'm actually going to say, without a doubt right now, the New York Yankees. If you had to ask me right now and I had to answer right now, without a doubt, the New York Yankees.
I could see him going to out west in California, either with the Dodgers or the Angels. I could see the Angels giving him some money.
No, yeah.
Again,
but
you're talking about is this a player the Yankees are willing to go above and beyond for? And the answer is no on my end. There's going to be a team that wants a starting pitcher, and they're going to give him a little bit more than the Yankees are going to give him.
I was talking to my dad about this today, and he's kind of in agreement with me on this. I didn't think about it till he brought it up, but I don't think Tanaka's playing for another major league team next year. If the Yankees show little to no interest in him or don't meet his price, he'll go back to Japan.
Maybe. He'll probably get more money.
The guy's a rock star over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he's going to make more money, then sure. But I mean, I think
I just can't.
would.
I don't know if I see him in another uniform.
Another guy who I think is just really comfortable in New York. Really loves being here.
All right, so that was also the debut of Clint Frazier. He got called up, and he hit a dinger as part of back-to-back dings with Gary Sanchez. Has Gary hit home runs in 3 consecutive games now?
3.
Okay.
3.
So here, Clint Frazier in the 3 games that he's been here, he's 7 for 11, 2 home runs and 8 runs batted in, for a robust 636 batting average. His OPS is 2.12. Yes, I know. It's 3 games.
Okay, but here's the thing. 3 games means nothing, especially offensively for Clint Frazier, because we never doubted what he can do. Let's talk about what he's done in 3 games in the outfield. Because in the 3 games in the outfield, he's been...
Well, it was 2. It was DH.
Whatever. But you know what I mean. To his regard... He was challenged out there.
I think by now we would have seen him have a classic Clint mistake.
A ball is hit to him now.
When he dove last night, that was a classic Clint mistake waiting to happen.
Yeah, lined up.
It was, but a classic Clint mistake, as we know, is a can of corn also.
Absolutely.
Right? And this guy has not only made the plays, but he's made the plays confidently. Mm-hmm. Even the one play that stands out to me is actually a hard hit liner that he had to play off the ground. And it kind of took a bad hop on him, but he was smooth with it. He was confident. He didn't second guess himself. He got the ball in, and he showed me that he is a completely different player right now. Completely different. Talent was never the question. It was all mental with him. And he always let that mental lapse, he always let it drip into his offense, and that's what caused him slumps and couldn't get out of that. This guy is not only talented now, but he has the maturity, the mental makeup of a Major League Baseball player. I tweeted this the other day, barring a complete collapse in the outfield, you cannot justify sending Clint Frazier anywhere anymore. Sorry.
No, and I think you made a great point before all these injuries happened where the Yankees were you tweeted it, that the Yankees should be testing Clint and have him play as much as possible, and now they're kind of forced to do that. But I thought that was a good take, and now he's going to be playing every day, right?
Yeah, he has to.
should mention though that with DJ going on the IL, the Yankees have called up Miguel Andujar from the alternate side.
So like here's
The
where
alternate side.
here's where I'll lose a lot of respect for the Yankees. If you see a game where Clint's on the bench and Miggy's in the outfield, that would really piss me off at this point.
You got. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to play Miguel Andujar as well as if he's going to be up here.
Yeah, but we have DH open. You have a DH spot wide open now.
I'm telling you, they'll use Miggy as the lefty platoon guy now.
And anybody, and credit the Yankees. They could have left. I think it was 3 more days. They could have left Andujar down there, and they would have gotten another year of service time out of him. But they brought him up.
Wow. All right, you got to respect that.
So then we'll move on to Friday night. The Yankees kicked the Red Sox ass and you know what? The Yankees have won like 13 out of 14 or 11 out of 12, whatever it is, against the Red Sox dating back to last year. And Yankee fans want to, crow about that. It's all fine and dandy, but the Red Sox have, I'm still not going to take bows over that until we win another World Series. All this regular season shit is fun and fine until there's another banner hanging up in center field.
Yeah.
But hey, man, if you're gonna, I'll take the dominance over the Red Sox. I'm not gonna absolutely throw it back. Garrett Cole went out there and did Garrett Cole things. 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. Again, didn't even look as dominant as we've seen him.
And yet he's 4-0.
He can be. And then here's the funny part, right? He allows the home run to Verdugo in the 4th inning, and then I tweeted that I think he just did that so he could be mad about something.
He just loves being pissed off.
And I think 7 of his 9 runs have come off the long ball too.
Yeah, and he gave up a ton of home runs last year.
29 career high.
What did it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because a
2.5 ERA.
A good pitcher doesn't get beat like that. He might give up some dingers, but he does it when his team's up by 5 runs
and with nobody else on base because he's not allowing hits.
If you're gonna give up a solo home run or two, in each of your starts, but those are the only runs you allow. Isn't that what you sign up for? You're ace to go out there and allow like a run or two max?
His 20 last decisions dating back to last year, all wins.
And the guy right now is
You're right, Chris. They do kind of promote that. Look, it says Cole posts 20th straight regular season win, but that's technically not true.
It's just 20th straight decision as a win. So I always thought the record was straight games.
But I don't think he's lost. He's gotten a loss.
He hasn't.
It's the decision.
It's 20th
because he didn't
straight
get a
decision.
decision on that one
Yeah, no,
that 7 inning game. He had 4 2/3.
But like I said, I think he just wanted something to be mad about, and then he kind of got on a roll after that. I think he retired like 7 or 8 straight guys, struck out a bunch of them too. That was where the majority of his Ks came, is after he gave up the home run. So I mean. And then Gary Sanchez just was flexing his muscles. He threw up the old emoji to his haters in that game because not only did he, it was somebody fairly quick too. Was it Pilar? Yeah, it was Pilar. Man, that wasn't even close. And Pilar's a good base runner too.
He's a great player. He's a Yankee killer.
And Gary got him. I mean, that was a country mile in between Pilar and the bag when Gary nailed him. And then that home run, man, that was a bomb. That was classic. That was classic Gary feeling good at the plate right there.
Was that the one where he was staring down the pitcher?
Because Brazier actually talked some shit to Gary. I forgot about that. In 2018, he told Gary to get his ass in the box and then struck him out. So Gary kind of didn't forget about that, and he took a peek at him when he was rounding the bases.
That was nice. How about the location of the catcher was spotted up? He was standing, and the ball came right down the middle. Gary just popped.
I got to say something about Gary real quick. The home runs are great. I think he's starting to turn it around. But my number one indicator with Gary Sanchez is just his at-bats in general. I don't care if the result is a strikeout. Gary Sanchez has been having so much better at-bats up there. Didn't sound grammatically correct. Yeah. He's having much better at-bats up there. And even when he strikes out, he's going deeper into counts. He's making the pitchers work. And you saw it last night where he was down early. He worked the count back to either 2-2 or a full count, and he fucking blasted that ball to give them the lead. Mm-hmm.
That's what I want out of Gary Sanchez. If you're not going to get a hit, don't be an easy out.
Right.
Make the pitcher work a little bit. Because too many times we see Gary fall down 0-2, and then the pitcher can roll it up there, and he'll swing at it.
When you're Gary Sanchez, you got to make the pitchers beat you on strikes. And if you can do that more times than not, you're going to get a ball that you can annihilate. But that's why he's a completely different hitter now. He's not swinging at that pitch 2 feet off the plate.
So you're saying that maybe you shouldn't judge a player based off of 10 or 12 games?
Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe.
Okay.
All right, so then last night, Yankees win again 11-5. That was James Paxton made the start. What'd you guys think of Paxton last night? Not nearly as dominant as he was in Tampa, obviously.
Well, you don't like when they take a 2-run lead and he immediately gives it up. But he was hitting 94 on the gun.
Yeah, I like that. I got to say, I hate that I'm doing this, but I can't help it. I'm starting to see Paxton too much as a hap roll, where I'm sitting there and I'm going, you know what? If he can give me 6 innings and give up 3-4 runs, I'm okay with it. And you shouldn't be okay with that. Paxton's not here to be J Happ.
He won 3 runs, 6 hits over 5 last night. He only struck out 2. That was kind of a weird home run that Bogarts hit off him last night. It seemed like it was up in the air forever, and it looked like Tauchman didn't know where the ball was either. I'm not saying he wouldn't have gotten it,
but yeah. It was a weird home run. I got to just go back to Gary real quick. I got to tell you guys this. I got into a little bit of an argument with someone on Facebook. They posted in one of the Yankee groups that we follow. You're going full Gator right now. Shit. They posted like, do we have to get rid of Gary Sanchez? This was before he started going on his tear. And I used my argument. I can't even fucking think with you asshole. I used my argument of where he's placed among AL catchers like I did the other day. His response back to me was, listen, bro, I'm not Bob Costas. I'm just a Yankee fan. I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to rip you. I'm just saying that this is the mentality of the Yankee fan base. Give this guy a little bit of a break here. Give him some slack. He'll turn it around.
And compare him to other catchers like you did. I mean,
come on. But anyway, the Paxton thing, I'm expecting too little of him at this point, and I don't like that I'm doing that.
I'm doing the same thing, too. You're right. And you need him to be your number 2 guy, and that's not really what a number 2 guy is. It's what a 4 or 5 is.
Which makes him expendable to me.
Yeah, I think if we brought this up, I think even before the season started, if you had to choose between Paxton and Tanaka, I think especially the way the two of them are pitching at this moment, I don't think it's even a debate right now.
No, it's not.
Agreed.
So the Yankees, we're heading into tonight's game here. It looks Happ is listed as the starter with a healthy 10.29 ERA. And Mazza,
Dathy, go warm up.
Is the starter for the Red Sox. He has 1 game pitched this season, 2 2/3 innings, hasn't allowed a run. He has 10 games in his career, so he's he's 30. He's not a kid, but he doesn't have a ton of major league experience. It looks like
that means they'll shut the Yankees down tonight. Seems like the Yankees play best on the better pitchers.
Yeah, but I
face.
noticed this year when it's at Yankee Stadium and these young, unproven pitchers come in there, they're getting shellacked out there, dude. You saw it in that Braves series.
The Yankees it seems like sometimes they'll sleep through 2 or 3 innings, and then it's like they wake up, score 10 runs, and then they're like, okay, we're good.
Listen, I'm going to use this mentality tonight. It's something I've told my buddy that bets a lot, and I used to apply this to the New England Patriots. I'm not saying that the Yankees are going to win every game. All I'll tell you is don't ever bet against them this year because they have the ability to win every single game they go out and play, no matter who's pitching.
I'll tell you what, I can't say in every game, but don't take the away team when the Yankees are at home.
Just don't bet against the Yankees this year, especially at home. I don't think the Yankees have any business winning this game tonight, but I think they will.
What do you mean any business? The Red Sox are awful.
They're awful, but you just won 2 in a row. You have a guy who you don't have a lot of experience against, and the Yankees seem to struggle against those kind of guys. You have Happ on the mound.
What do you think Happ's whip is this year?
Oh my God!
Is it over 2?
Maybe.
Oh my God! What is it? Seriously?
2.14.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Walks, hits per innings pitched.
Oh.
If J Happ has to come out of the game because of ineffectiveness, Can Aaron Boone please bring a steel chair with him to the mound
No.
and just
Bring him with the
fucking-
contract and rip it up right on the mound and say go.
Should he call Cashman and be like, "Can you fax me
No.
a copy of his contract?"
No,
down
this
here
is what you do. I'm sure Hap, a lot of people hate President Trump, right? You get Trump down there. Hap, I'm just going to assume, hates him too. You set him up in a little office. And right from the game in the third inning, when you pull him, you send him up. And you just have Trump sitting there and you go, "You're fired. You're fired. Done. Get him the fuck off the team. Send him to the alternate site if you want. Get him off this team."
Is he in danger of being designated for assignment if he doesn't pitch well tonight?
100%. This was it. I gave him 3 starts because of the shortened season. If he can't give you 5 productive innings, and that is not saying a lot. 5 innings, you want to give up 4 runs? Fine. You got to give me at least 5 innings tonight. That's his biggest indicator, right? 5 innings. If he can't get me through the 3rd or 4th again, you're gone. I'm sorry, you're gone.
No, I'm in total agreement. If he has another shit performance, I want him off the team. But if you're Cashman and Boone, are you sitting down having that conversation after this game tonight if he has a rough outing?
You're probably not going to be as irrational as that because you need depth, especially in a season like this. But you're definitely not starting him in his scheduled starts anymore.
You're at least taking that heavily into consideration now if he clunks tonight. But fully vested bullpen, so should be able to use him.
All right, so we'll look ahead here, and Aroldis Chapman should be back soon. I think maybe tomorrow.
I just want to say,
Monday.
before you keep going, I got to say, everyone keeps asking me, when's Chapman going to be back? And every time for the last week and a half, I've said, oh, he's right around the corner. Yet I don't see him. So what's going on?
Because what do you mean you don't see him? There's nobody actually covering the team in the alternate site, so there's no video of anything they're doing down there.
But like, well, when is he finally going to be back?
He just pitched a sim game. I think the Yankees are going to see how he rebounds from it and maybe throw him back-to-back days, and then he'll be back.
Okay.
Boone said he's really close. That's why I'm thinking sometime this week.
Okay.
So we'll take a look ahead at the schedule here as we just previewed tonight's game with Crap on the mound. Hopefully, Crap doesn't happen for the Yankees. Then they finish up with one of these weird 4-game wraparound series. They'll finish up with the Red Sox on Monday, 7:05 start. The Yankees are TBD in that game. I guess they've re-signed them from the alternate site.
Yeah, it's so confusing with these COVID rules. What you could do?
What's more dangerous, COVID or TBD?
I don't know. TBD seems prevalent.
It sounds bad.
Then we got the Red Sox. Then we got the Rays in for 3 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yankees owe the Rays a little receipt from last week.
Yeah.
Snell's on the mound Tuesday, and then the Yankees are TBD for all 3 games, and then the Rays are TBD after Tuesday. So Snell's on the mound Tuesday, and then Subway Series 2020 kicks off at Citi Field with the Yanks against the Mets. Sweet. And a little bit of a disappointment Friday. Jacob deGrom was scratched from his start, which why would we care? Because that would have lined him up to pitch against Garrett Cole in this series. So
you gotta,
right?
if you love baseball, you love those types of matchups regardless.
Maybe not. I think they both would have been slated to pitch on Thursday.
He might have been that next game to open against the Braves, Cole.
But either way, it would have given you, and then wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it looks like they might have missed each other both times. But anyway, it would have given you some hope that you still could have seen Cole and deGrom against each other, which as a baseball fan,
Gardy's probably disappointed because he always does well against deGrom. He's got some dings against him.
So keep an eye out for Thursday because that is listed as a 1:05 start, a rare day game during the week here for this COVID season. So a couple of news and notes here with NYYST. We teased it last week. Chris gave me the good news. I don't know if we're still on for good news, but I who the hell knows anymore? I went ahead and I started running the polls. I'm really excited about this. It's something that I wanted to do for a while now, and I finally came up with the right way to do it. It's called the Sterling Silhouette Series. We're releasing 5 T-shirts of John Sterling home run calls with a silhouette of that player after he makes contact with a home run. Really excited about that. The first 3 polls are up right now at NYY Sports Talk. The first poll was the Yankee Dynasty years. It was Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, Posada, and Tino Martinez. Derek Jeter won that poll, so you will get an El Capitan t-shirt coming shortly. Then we'll move on to the 2009 World Champion Yankees. It was A-Rod, Matsui, Teixeira, and Robbie Cano. I didn't really want to put Robbie Cano on there, but
Because
that's
he's still
such
a player.
classic.
Yeah.
It's such a classic.
I actually
Sterling poll.
voted Cano because I love the slogan.
He didn't finish last, so. But Hideki Matsui, a thriller from Godzilla, which is another. That's an old timer right there.
Yeah.
And then
Little
you wanna
racy,
talk-
little racy, but I like it.
You want to talk
his
recency
nickname,
bias, and Judge just pulled ahead here because earlier today it was tied. Because if I had ran this one a week ago, Clint Frazier would be nowhere near the
Nowhere
lead.
near.
Right now, still active for another 9 hours. It'll be current Yankee infielders Judge, Frazier, Gardy, and Mike
Outfielders, you
Tauchman.
mean?
So Judge is ahead 34% to 32% over Clint Frazier, which, like we said a week ago, Frazier would have maybe gotten a vote from his cat, and that was about
All
it.
we need is one more home
cat
run
back.
from Frazier, or a post game where Boone says Aaron Judge has been set back a bit, and you got Frazier taking that poll hands down.
The next poll will be current Yankee infielders, and I believe I have it narrowed down to Urshela, LeMahieu, Torres, and I'm going to count Gary Sanchez as an infielder.
Is LeMahieu's
But he sucks.
is LeMahieu Sterling's worst call by far?
What is his?
David
John
John hits one
makes
long
long
gone.
gone.
Yeah, that's,
Makes
Yeah,
long gun.
it's not. It's not.
that
great.
sounds like he didn't think of one, and then he hit a home run
It's-
during the game, and he's
It's
like, oh,
latter years.
It's not.
What
No,
does
it's not
DJ
great,
stand for?
but It's there because of DJ's popularity
Right.
amongst the fans.
Right.
And then the fifth and final shirt to be voted on will be the 4 second place choices. So it's like a second chance, which
Consolation
I think,
type.
yeah. So those 5 shirts. Plus, I gave Chris, which I think is a great idea. Can't wait to see how it gets executed with the Gio Urshela shirt that I.
Yeah, we have to time that though, because if he wins the silhouette, do you still want to delay that one a little? Should I put it out before any of that?
No, I think you should do it before we actually run
Okay.
with
Okay.
the silhouette series.
Okay.
And I'm going on vacation for 4 days, Wednesday through Saturday, and when I come back, I'm hoping to have another Garrett Cole design. The one that I wanted, I couldn't find the right picture for. So hopefully something pops to me.
Are you
down
gonna
there.
wear? Are you gonna wear your
I want
gator
more.
the whole time on?
No, this is why. No, not the whole time, but the reason why I got the Gators is for the vacation.
Screw
popped up.
sunscreen. You just throw that bad boy on your face, you'll be fine.
So I definitely want more Garrett Cole merch on the site. So I'm really excited. I'm glad that Chris gave us the go ahead to go with that. I really want to start pumping out some new stuff. And hopefully we can still get that camp design out there. We want to do something special with it because we did kind of work hard on it. So we'll figure something out with that. Got anything to add?
That's it, man. I'm ready to watch a game.
Your wife wants to take a nap about 45 minutes ago too. So.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to episode 189 of the NYYST podcast. And we do have to mention Glaber's heating up a little bit. Maybe not with the
100%,
power, but he's getting some knocks, some little
That's all I need right now.
Bingo here. So he's heating up, and that's what you like to see, man. When a couple of your big guns go down, other guys that have
That's
been cold start stepping up. So, Glaber and Gary are heating up here. And if Gary's going to give me one hit a game and it's leaving the ballpark, I'll sign for it.
Hell yeah.
All right, so thank you for listening. This might be next episode Sunday after the Met game. Might be a J. Happ Memorial episode. Goodbye, J. Happ. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. I mean, like I said, I never want to. I'm not the type of fan that wants to be right on a bad player or right about a bad player.
Yeah. You'd rather be wrong than him
I'd
produce.
rather Happ go out there and pitch like Randy Johnson than us have to worry about
good Randy Johnson, not Yankee year Randy Johnson.
Yeah, Mariner
please,
Randy Johnson.
please, Mariner Randy Johnson, please.
You know what? Even though if he pitches like Yankee Randy Johnson, I'll
It'd
take
be
it
an
at this
upgrade. It would be an upgrade.
All right. Thank you for listening to episode 189 of the NYYST podcast. Thank you to Creed. He's been up here the whole time sleeping like a good boy. Creed likes sitting in on the pods now. So
You gave him a little catnip, I heard. Gave him a little doggy weed.
He's a dog. I do have pills for him.
There you go.
They're,
Puppy tranks.
it's time to go. Thank you for listening to episode. How many times have I said this?
A million.
Thank you for listening to episode 189 of the NYYST podcast. Follow us on Twitter at NYY Sports Talk. Follow me on Twitter at Christian_NYYST. Follow Chris when he tweets at Chris Jr. _NYYST. Ryan, drop your handle.
At Stack Guy Rye _NYYST.
That guy Ryan needs to
follow.
tweet more. He's got some good tweeties when he comes up with it.
Yeah, when I tweeted it, I tweeted it.
When he tweets it, he tweets it. Okay.
He needs to eat. He needs to eat his tweeties more often.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Players eat their Wheaties. I need to eat my Tweeties. Okay. High cholesterol.
All right,
I need
let's-
some Tweeties. Okay.
All right. We'll let you go here. This is running long. Hopefully you get in time to watch the Yankees play the Sox tonight. If not, catch us Monday morning in a regularly scheduled time frame. Whatever, dude. Stack Guy Rye.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Peace.